Ah, amazing. So I'm going to go right into our next segment. It's going to be a breathe and scribble. So I'm really enjoying this event so far. It's so beautiful how different practices can bring us peace. People have different things that they do to experience peace. So one of my favorite peace practices is the breathe and scribble. And I go to this pretty often. Anytime I'm having a breakdown and crying uncontrollably, or like grieving something, or feeling really sad or angry, this is my go to tool. And peace is in the release. And the idea here is to connect with the breath, or stay connected to the breath, since we just connected with the breath. And I'll show. So what we're going to do is grab a blank sheet of paper and 3 different colored markers or crayons. Ideally, if you only have a pencil or you only have one pen, that's okay too. But having 3 different colors just makes this a little bit more colorful of an activity. And what we're going to do is choose the first color, uncap it, take a slow, conscious breath, and then as you exhale, begin scribbling and letting your hand move freely without thinking, just moving and letting the breath guide you. And then we repeat with the next 2 colors, 1 breath with 1 scribble, letting it flow. And so something that can be helpful to keep in mind is that you're not drawing with your mind and you're not drawing with your eyes, you're drawing with your breath. So we can together uncap our marker and then take an inhale. And then exhaling slowly, just scribbling on the paper as you exhale. And then when you get to the bottom of your exhale, maybe you can squeeze a little bit more air out, but then you pause and inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to scribble again. Pause at the bottom of the exhale, inhaling through the nose. And as you exhale, scribbling on the paper. Great. So it's 3 breaths, 3 scribbles, 3 colors. Like 3 scribbles per color, 3 breaths per color. So after 3, you can cap that marker, take out your next one, next color, and we're just going to repeat the process. So breathing in, connecting with the breath. And as you exhale, scribbling on the paper. And you can experiment. What if you scribble really slowly? If you slow it down. And with this next breath, what if you scribble as fast as you can? Scribble, 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 scribble. And then breathing in. And this time you can play with direction. Scribbling, try scribbling up and down, left and right, in circles, spirals, maybe some infinity signs, or scribbling around the page, around the edges. And then we can move on to our 3rd color. Breathing in, exhaling and scribbling. Breathing in, exhaling and scribbling. And breathing in, exhaling and scribbling. Great. So once you've done 3 colors, or scribbled with whatever you have accessible to you, the last step here is to take a moment and connect with the scribbles on the paper. So look at the scribbles, notice the colors, notice the lines, the layers, and then you're going to invite these scribbles to speak a message to you. So the universe is going to speak to you through these scribbles, and once you receive that message, go ahead and write that down on the paper. Amazing. So that's breathe and scribble. If you feel called, you can hold up your paper to the screen if that works, or you can also share the message that came through in the chat. Ooh, Yolanda, I love that. Paula, beautiful scribbles. Whoa, Danielle, I see a butterfly in yours. Catch the wave. Ooh, Paula, what does yours say?
Embrace both the salty and the sweet.
Embrace both the salty and the sweet. I love that. Okay, and then, so I find that this activity works best if you do it like at least 2 times. And so we're going to do like a rapid round this time. Okay, so I'm not going to guide you or anything, but I'm going to play a song. This song is 2.5 minutes long. So you're going to do the same process, breathing and scribbling. And then in the next 2.5 minutes, you're going to use 3 colors and then write the message down. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's go.
Breathe and scribble, breathe, breathe and scribble. Breathe and scribble, breathe, breathe and scribble. Ay, breathe and scribble, breathe, breathe and scribble. Breathe and scribble, breathe, breathe and scribble. Ay. Breathe and scribble, breathe, breathe and scribble. Breathe and scribble, breathe, breathe and scribble. Ay, breathe and scribble, breathe, breathe and scribble. Breathe and scribble, breathe, breathe and scribble. Ay.
Very nice, everybody. You can take a minute to hold up your paper if you'd like. Put a message in the chat. My messages were live together in harmony and peace and learn to let go to grow. So this technique is inspired by Picasso. For me, like that's one of my inspirations for this activity. Ooh, Danielle, I love that. Yeah, so you can see in Danielle's and also Peppermint Pops, you know, sometimes it's not just a scribble and a message. Sometimes an image will come through. Paula, yours looks a little bit like a tree, or like a tree with a web. You see Yolanda's. I can't see Yolanda's. It's too blurry. Beautiful. So something about this type of event, or something that I've learned on my travels, is that there's different types of voices that we all have. So we have the voice that we speak with our vocal cords. We have the voice of how we move. We also have the voice of how we write and how we draw and how we scribble. And so I'm really loving this event and how we're tapping into these different voices, setting all of them free and releasing, which brings me peace. I can't speak for anybody else. So, thank you so much. That was Breathe and Scribble.